Howdy everybody, this is Sean with our DIY garden, and today I am doing what a lot of you might be doing this next week is I am dealing with eggs. Now, I we use a lot of eggs, but even so, our hens are going crazy right now. We went through the molting and everything and they slowed down, but they are back in full force and I've got eggs. I've got so many eggs. I trying to figure out things to do with them. I'm baking with them. I'm making hard boiled eggs for Ron for his lunch. I'm making egg salad today, probably for his next week's lunch. And so we have a lot of eggs right now. And I thought that I would share something that gardeners do with their eggshells because to me it'd be a waste to throw all of this away. What we want to do is use as much as we can from the gardens. And even though eggs don't come from the gardens, they do feed the chickens a lot of the time. And so what we do is we can put this back into our gardens or our compost. If you don't have, of course, if you're watching this channel, you probably do have a garden or interested in gardening. But if you don't put them in your gardens, put them in your compost pile. They're great for that. And let me share with you how I do it. So, I see on a lot of people asking, how do you get the nice, pretty, hard-boiled egg from Farm Fresh Eggs? And it's hard because just the fresher they are, the harder it is for you to come out with a, nice little pretty egg like this one. She's peeled so easy. So I'm going to give you a couple of tricks that I've used and they've served me well. Number one, I boil them and they come to a rolling boil and I don't time it. I'm like, oh yeah, I got eggs on the stove, so they come to a rolling boil and then I take it over to the sink and I do really, really, really cold water into the pan. And I do that, 3 or 4 times, pour out the old water and put in really, really cold water again. And then I just let them sit for a little bit and they come out pretty easy. Now, something that I've learned is that these eggs, and you won't be able to see it, but if you ever peel an egg, you know that there's this little thin membrane. And that is the key to getting your eggs to peel easily. Get that membrane and pull it, and what it does is it releases the shell, and it works really great. Now, I'm going to try it with this egg and watch this be one that isn't going to peel well. But I hit the top and the bottom really hard, and then I give it a kind of a nice firm roll, and most of the time the shell pops right, off really pretty good. So this one seems to be doing pretty good. And another way to know if you've got that membrane is if the egg is kind of shiny, that means that you've pulled that membrane. If the egg is dull, that means that the membrane is still on the egg. And look for it and find it and pull it. And that's going to help release the egg from the shell from the egg. And that just makes it pretty easy to. Now, I am not a perfectionist. Some of my eggs look pretty bad, but I figure I'm going to cut them up and nobody but me will be aware of how bad they looked at the end. So, I've peeled these eggs and I've got all these shells and I am not going to waste them. For me, what I do, there, worked pretty good. I pulled that membrane a couple of times. I always have a bag of eggshells sitting in the kitchen somewhere. And this is, when I get done peeling an egg, I just take the eggshells and I put them in here. Now, I have a caveat. This is going to start to stink. If you leave it sitting on the counter too long, it will stink. You'll open it up and it'll take your breath away. smells so bad. So I never let it sit for more than 2 weeks before doing something with it. And what I do is I simply do this. I put them into a bowl and put them in the oven to bake. Probably about 350 for 20 to 30 minutes, you know, let them get a little brown. And then I'll just crunch them up. And if I'm working on like a new garden bed, that's where they'll go. If I don't have time to go put them in the garden bed, they'll just go into the compost pile. Or sometimes Ron will take them out to the chickens. But he hasn't taken them for a while. So they're ready to go into the garden. Like right now, if you're resting a garden plot, go ahead and throw them in that area. And everyone's like, well, you know, it's going to take hundreds of years for the calcium from the egg shells to do anything for the garden. Well, maybe it will. But gardeners, we're not here for short term. We're here for long term. And if I don't get benefit from it, my children or my grandchildren might get benefit from it. And I know that I'm not throwing them in the trash and taking them away from an area that they can really help out around here. So I hope that helps you knowing what to do with them. With baking the eggshells, you don't have to crunch them up before. I just put them in, you know, as whole as they are, spray the pan, put them in there, 350 for 20 to 30 minutes. And when you pull them out, I let them cool. And there you have it. You have eggshells that you can go put in your garden. Hey, I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. We probably won't do very many videos this week. So enjoy your family. And remember the real reason for the season. And God bless you. Bye-bye.